So in terms of pull value, and when I say pull value, I'm more so just referring to M1 and W1.
Okay.
Maybe M2 if it's good enough for the character, like if it's a big enough value. Like, for example, I think Grace's, if you really like Grace, choosing her M2 is a good option if you already have the other characters anyways.
That is very true. I don't remember exactly what her M2 does.
It gives electric res when you use her skill or EX.
That's right.
I just looked it up, that's why.
Debuff.
That's why I know. Oh, and yeah, and electric anomaly res or build up resistance as well.
Yeah, that's real nice.
Soldier 11. What are your thoughts on Soldier 11? I think she's good, but she's probably the best standard DPS because there's only two.
She's fine.
Yeah, like if you don't have a main DPS by now, she's a good pick. Or like if you don't have a second or a third, she's a good pick.
Absolutely. And if you don't have like Evelyn or Bernice and you need fire, then yeah. She's worth picking up. As long as you're willing to invest into her and know that you need to invest heavily into her for her to perform well at this point in the game.
She's good. I think most casual players will not care for her basic combo, like the delay. I call them the DMC combo because it's like, you know, Devil May Cry has delay buttons like combos.
Right.
So that's just how I refer to it, but I know most people probably don't know what I mean when I refer to Devil May Cry combos. If you know, let me know in the chat. So I think that is because that's one reason why I don't play her is because I don't want to take the time to memorize that, get the timing down. Like it's purely out of laziness.
I played way too much Phantasy Star Online as a younger lad, so picking up Soldier 11's timing came pretty easily for me, and it's really not that hard.
Yeah. Like, it also doesn't help that I suck at stagger pressure in like fighting games because I delay it too much.
I feel that sometimes.
Oh, Rez got the reference. He's goated.
Hell yeah.
So I think Soldier 11 is a S tier in terms of that. She's not bad. She just has some issues in my opinion. She's not horrible. She's good, but she has some issues, and I'll talk about that because she's gonna be next. But I think, or here, just
I do think in terms of overall value for picking, I would drop her down one.
Oh yeah. That's fair. I think there are three characters that are going to be S tier in my prediction.
Like there's one for sure that is better than all the rest right now.
Right, for sure. So Soldier 11 here, because we'll go through the characters and then I'll like reset it to do the engines.
Okay.
So yeah, I think especially if you have, because in my recommendation, pull who you want to have, and then make sure if you don't have a standard banner character, pick one of them. Because my logic behind that is if you lose the 50-50, you're not getting like the 10 pulls back, but if you did a single pull and lost the 50-50, you're getting 2 pulls. So you're going +1 on that singular pull. I'm using trading card references or lingo. So it's like a pseudo +1, 2. I think Soldier 11's, I've looked at it. And for those of you who don't know, Soldier 11's M1 is when Soldier 11 enters combat or switches in, if she has less than 40 energy, it's recovered to 80, and it can happen basically once every minute.
Yeah, can't go wrong with a free X every so often.
Yeah, like you start out with it, and then you switch out, and then, you know, you have to play good for a little bit, or if she has enough energy regen, you can just go back to it. So I think it is worth getting her M1. I should read what her M2 is. because we're going
was
up to
really
M2.
good, if I remember.
When triggering a fire suppression, basic attack, dash attack, or dodge counter, damage increases by 3% up to 12 stacks, lasting 15 seconds. So basically, if you are attacking and using her enhanced attack with like the fire, you're getting a damage buff. Okay, so yeah, I think her M1 is, in my opinion, a better value, only because it's a comfort thing. I think comfort beats like raw DPS, in my opinion. Because if a character is annoying to play and build, you're not going to want to build or play them, in my opinion.
True.
So I think her M1 has more value in that sense, in that like a more general casual sense. But yeah, A rank is a good place for her. Nekomata. My problem with Nekomata is that her kit is, she's kind of like a Glaya. I'm going to be honest. Her kit, her base, like her just M0 W0 kit, it does what it needs to do, but once you get her M1 or her Wenjin, it changes how she's played.
For sure.
Because this is for you, Rez. When she attacks, she has a basic attack like her basic attack string. She does this thing where she, like, let's say the enemy, let me just. So this is the enemy, right? This is the enemy. And this is Nekomata.
Beautiful.
This is Nekomata, right? Okay. So what her basic attack does is, I think it's on the third or the fourth attack, she does this thing where she's able to cross, like get behind she dashes behind the enemy, and then on the next hit, she comes back to the front. So when you get her M1, it says, when Nekomata hits an enemy from behind, she ignores 16% of the target's physical res. If the enemy is stunned, all Nekomata's attacks against them are considered back attacks. So she is a back shot character.
Wait a minute.
Yes, I know what I said. That was intentional. And then her Wenjin says increases physical damage by 20%. And then it's increased by an additional 25% when hitting the enemy from behind. Once you get her M1, you just want to do this. And then you want to go like blah, 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 from behind. I'm not sure if this is a very good descriptor. Like, but does that make sense? Like, did I describe that well, guys?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, she's got built-in side switches to her combo routes, and
yeah, basically, yeah. And I made a joke in the script, and I'm gonna say it here. I was like, I stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV because I was sick of positionals on Samurai. I did not start playing gacha games to have to deal with positionals. This is ridiculous. If you guys know it, if you guys get that, like, comment, let me know. That it's not bad. Positionals aren't really that bad, but I just thought it was a funny, like, meme. So I think she's a B tier. I'm gonna put her in B tier. Because like, as I said, and I hope it kind of makes sense. And if you didn't agree with that, I hope you do kind of agree now. That she's basically playing with 3/4 of a deck. Like, she's not playing with her full kit. Like, because as soon as you get her Wenjin, like I said, as soon as you get her Wenjin or her M1, her playstyle changes.
Yeah.
And they don't tell, like, it's just, I don't know. I think requiring vertical investment to get a character's playstyle is bad. Now, like I said, she's good enough without it, right? She's good, But for the same for less investment, Soldier 11 does more damage. I'm pretty sure. Like, Nekomata's damage is comparable or beats Evelyn's or Soldier 11's once you get her Mindscaper Wenjin.
Only when they're stunned.
Yeah. Only when they're stunned. So you have to be able to reliably stun them a lot. But on like boss enemies, it's hard to stun them. Or they have a higher stun resistance. And even on ads, it's irrelevant.
Compounding Nekomata's issues there with the fact that physical is not in that great of a position right now, since there aren't really that many physical weak bosses, and there are so many other physical DPS to compete with her.
Let's just be honest. Piper's a better physical DPS because she's easier to build, easier to get access to. Per se, she is an A rank, so technically it is more consistent to get an S rank than any given A rank because, gotchas.
While Neko can clear, so can Billy, and Billy is free.
Yeah, I don't think they still do it, but people have solo cleared content with Billy. They have nobody. I'm sure there's somebody that did it, and if there is, I'm sure somebody will say this in the comments. But as far as I know, nobody has done that with Nekomata because her kit requires back shots and them to be stunned.
Right.
And I think that just really hurts her viability. So if you like her, obviously pick her. But if you're kind of interested in her and you don't care about the other S ranks, her M1 is good. I'm not going to say it's bad, but honestly, if you're looking for a physical DPS, Jane is just better because she makes assault crit.
Absolutely. Jane is so good, kind of.
Star Rail team, please, for the love of God, make dots crit. I'm begging you, please.
Right?
What?
Here's hoping for Hysolins, right?
Yeah, Hysolin, please crit. Also, give me a dot or a remembrance character that is a dot healer. Please and thank you. I'm not sure if you could tell, but I was like getting up and personal to my microphone.
You think we're actually going to get another remembrance character after Amphorius?
Yes.
Okay.
Although we have yet to get another Bond of Life character past Fontaine. So I could be dead ass wrong. No. Actually, Hysolin, she's going to be a remembrance character. And hear me out. Let me cook. She is a remembrance character that her memo sprite, when you use your ultimate, when she uses her ultimate, it's kind of like Fat Fuck. Except instead of doing a big attack, it puts up like a pseudo field that allows dots to crit and heal.
Okay. I'm on board.
Remembrance characters are fucking busted. So, I mean, it's a reasonable request. Yeah. I think B is a fair place for her.
I agree. Unfortunately.
But it's B because I don't think she's bad. I don't think she's actually that bad. She just has issues.
She's not bad. She's just probably the worst option.
She is, pun intended, she is very much a pet character. I said it. I said what I said. Anyways, yeah. Coletta. The one who was done dirty by the recasting of the voice actor. She's great. Coletta. She's great. I just think the original was better.
I like Coletta. I don't have Coletta.
Yeah, I do. I have 2 of her Wenjin. Or I technically have a W2 Wenjin. Where do you think she goes? Because she's a fire stun character who is now getting a buff in the form of she will work with Ishwen. Mine is probably poorly built, and I'm probably playing her badly, but I feel like she doesn't stun as fast as I've seen other people do.
Yeah, she's supposedly the fastest stunner in the game, from what I hear, but I can't
I'm probably just playing her wrong.
The only stunner I play is Trigger, so.
It must be nice.
Kind of. I mean, I wouldn't mind having like an actual stun Haru team, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
I make do with what I have.
Yeah, I think she is an S tier because, especially for characters like Evelyn and now Ishwen, she's a team option. If you don't have Astra, or if you are like me and have shitty A rank luck and may or may not get a fucking pan.
I do hope the Rupture addition to her passive is helpful.
It's definitely going to be good for Orpheus, who's going to be the next going to be a Fire Rupture character. 100%, definitely not coping. But yeah, I think she's S tier, but let's also look at her Mindscapes. So her M1 is after the second or fourth hit, when with her basic attack or her enhanced basic attack, which is basically when she gets this passive called Furnace Fire, and Furnace Fire just went on her second or fourth hit of her basic. It does massive damage and increases the days.
Okay.
Quickly use special attack or EX special attack to increase the days dealt by 15%. So that's pretty good.
Neat. And
when Coletta's EX special attack hits an enemy, it recovers 60 energy and can trigger once every 45 seconds. That's actually really fucking cool. That's her M2.
That is really nice.
That is really nice, yeah.
Her M2 is very good.
So I think S rank is good because she does apply a lot of days. So I think mine is just built poorly, and I'm not going to say bad build. Take my bad build out on the character because, you know, throwing mega shade. I'm not saying Tontas, and I'm not going to blame shitty builds on the game.
Right.
All right. What do you think? Do you think that's fair? Let me hear your thoughts.
I don't really have a lot of like knowledge of Kaleda stuff other than she's an I don't have lighter pick for Evelyn. And that's kind of about what she is in like the meta game.
Yeah, that's me because I don't want to pull lighter. I should because he's just goated, but if I'm gonna pull a stunner, it's gonna be Jufufu or Chingy.
That's fair.
But
she's good at what she does. She just doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, and just a reminder, her additional ability allows chain attacks to deal 25% more damage.
Yeah, and Evelyn's kind of the only one that really cares about that. So if you do have Evelyn, don't have lighter, and don't have Kaleda, then pick up Kaleda.
Actually, I was wrong. It resets. It's 35% more damage, and it stacks twice.
That is pretty cool.
So, yeah, that's her additional ability. So I was wrong about that. But yeah, I think she does what she does very well. But she's obviously just a lighter at home character.
Yeah, she's a stun bot that's good at being a stun bot.
Yeah. Yeah. Rena. The misunderstood standard S rank of the early game. But I think she's S rank. But what do you think before I put her for sure?
Rena is absolutely slept on and definitely deserves that S rank. I think there's only one character that is a better pick than Rena.
Astra?
And we'll get there. I mean, from the selector.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rena's biggest flaw is that she doesn't work with Ishwan.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's not even a flaw.
Rena's actual biggest flaw is that she's hard to fucking play.
Yeah, she's weird to play. I do have her M1, which I will go over that with you guys. Her M1 is after being sent out, her puppets, Drusilla and Anastella, stay in place for an additional 5.5 seconds longer. And it buffs the core passive by a bigger distance and increases the amount of pen ratio it buffs, like how much it gives. So I think pen is a misunderstood stat. It's kind of like break effect. And that makes me scared of a super break-esque comp.
Yeah. Pen's in that weird boat where people always question, why do you have Pen? And they're like, don't understand that Pen is very good for literally everybody.
Yeah, Pen is a good stat for every DPS, but you don't want to build it in the character. Like if you can avoid getting a lot of you'd rather crit stats or attack percent over pen ratio.
It depends on the team comp and like the character and like who you're playing them with.
Right, and I'm speaking from a more general sense.
Right.
Most of the DPSs will just want you to build crit stats.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't get substat pen ratio.
Right. So I do think having a character that just gives pen ratio to characters, it's actually more nice than people think, because it's like a pseudo defense shred.
Yeah.
Because you're just ignoring that amount of their defense.
Brina is very good. Pen is
slept on.
Absolutely.
It is slept on. And now it's going to be even more slept on because Rupture characters use scale off sheer force or use sheer force for their damage, which just ignores pen or just doesn't need pen or defense shred because sheer force ignores defense entirely.
Oh no, Yishuan is power creeping the entire mechanic out of the game.
Yeah. Don't worry, she doesn't do as much damage to Miyabi yet, so. But yeah, so I think S is a good spot. Her Wenjin is a very good investment as well, but we'll get into that when we talk about the Wenjins. So next up is Grace. I think Grace is unfortunately a B. Because it hurts so much. It hurts so much to say that. Like, she was the booba lady that got me to play the game, aside from like Rena and Grace got me to confirm to play this. And then after I was like, all right, I'm gonna play Zenless. And then I saw Miyabi and I was like, dude, fuck, so Virgil, sign me the fuck up. I think she's a B, but because she's got, B for bigger boobs, she's gonna go ahead of Nekomata. Because I do think she has value in shock teams. Her, Grace, and Rena actually synergize very, very well because Rena's additional ability increases the duration of shock. And then if enemies are shocked, they take more electric damage. And Grace's core passive increases electric damage, it gives electric damage defense ignore, it gives res shred, and then gives or buffs electric anomaly buildup. So they actually synergize very well together. But if you're building an electric anomaly character, you're probably going for Yanagi anyways.
Yeah.
And I think for a free-to-play character, Grace isn't doing much, unfortunately.
Unless you have Haru and want to play Grace Haru.
Yeah, if you want to play Grace Haru, you can. Yeah. But aside from that one team, because I'm just kind of going with the assumption that people may or may not they probably do have Haru, but I'm not going to assume they have Haru. I think
for
Haru,
Grace specifically, if you want to play Grace Haru or Grace Vivian, which is fine, pick up Grace, or Grace if you don't have her.
Because Grace's biggest issue, in my opinion, is that she requires field time. And I feel like if you're building an anomaly team and you have Grace or Vivian, or Vivian or Bernice, you may or may not already have Miyabi or Yanagi or even Jane, which is unfortunately better than Grace.
Yeah, but if you are not interested in those specific teams, then don't bother.
Yeah. She's like Shock or Disorder are her playstyles. She doesn't really do much of else. But yeah, no, it just sucks. I think she's really hot. She's really fun. Kind of clunky, but there's so many better options.
Yeah.
Lycon.
Put him at the top above everybody else. He's the winner.
Now here's the question. For a S tier, who's better, Rena or Coletta? I think Coletta, because stun is more generally. Grace is so neat. Yeah, she's so hot. Her physics are great.
I am probably biased, but I think Rena's a better character, but Coletta is maybe more valuable universally. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think she has more overall account value because she's gonna be a stunner that's works with Rupture. I think Coletta's probably better, but Lycon is just the best because he is in one of Miyabi's best teams in Mono Ice.
He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. He's Bao's favorite character, so you know he has some respect in that regard. Yeah, no, I think he's just
and he's incredibly valuable for any ice DPS, as he's a stunner that does more than just stun, because he provides the stun damage multiplier.
Yeah, by 35%.
And ice resistant or shred.
It's only a negative if you're against furries, which I don't care for furries. But I mean, I'm not above saying Pulchra is hot as fuck, but it's not. She's not hot because of the fur and the ears. She's just hot because she's, you know, stacked. But Lycon's M1 increases the days of his EX attack. And then when he charges his EX attack, it gives more days.
His M1
his
is fine.
What?
Like his M1 is fine.
And then his M2 says, when stunning an enemy or triggering a squad member's chain attack, Lycon gains 5 energy and can trigger once every second.
That's also.
Yeah, I think even. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That's also a Mindscape that exists. His aren't really that great, but
I think that's because his base kit is so good.
Yeah, as a character as a whole, he's very good.
For sure. All right, that is going to be it for this tier list. Again, I just want to wrap it up with pull who you want, because that's more important. You know, waifu over meta, husbando over meta, you know, whatever you want to call it. I am personally going for Grace because she's my favorite standard banner character. So I'm going for Grace. Who are you going to go for, Ark?
I am a Grace Haru enjoyer who does not have Rena, so I am getting Rena.
That's absolutely based. Oh yeah, we're going to still do the Wenshins after this. I'm just wrapping this up because I'm going to make it 2 separate videos. Or I'm just going to combine it, or 2 different sections, and then I'll combine it into one.